Tensions flared and tempers boiled over in Sunday's nail-biter between the Indiana Fever and the Seattle Storm. Did the coaches take things too far? During the closing moments of this intense game, a heated exchange broke out between Fever coach Christy Sides and Storm coach Noelle Quinn. The drama kicked off when Indiana kept their starters on the court, while Seattle had already put in their bench players. With the game slipping away from the Storm, the tension escalated. And then, in a jaw-dropping moment caught live on the Jumbotron, Fever rookie guard Caitlin Clark appears to get involved, seemingly telling the Storm players to stop crying. But the tension didn't stop there. As if the heated exchange between the coaches wasn't enough, Caitlin Clark found herself in the crossfire, both figuratively and literally. In a surprising twist, as Clark headed back to her team, she was hit with a hard shove by a Seattle player, adding fuel to the fire. Just watch. Clark takes a solid hit, and you can see the fury in Quinn's eyes, likely believing that Christy Sides should have cleared her bench earlier. But let's get one thing straight. This is professional basketball. There's no rule saying you have to do that. And that's not all. New footage has emerged, and it's painting Seattle's coach Noelle Quinn in a very negative light. The lack of sportsmanship displayed raises serious questions about professionalism in the league, and it's no wonder viewership numbers are struggling when the expected decorum is nowhere to be found. As highlighted by Outkick, when coaches behave this way, what message does it send to fans and players alike? This game is just the latest chapter in Caitlin Clark's growing influence on the league. Her bold demeanor, even as a rookie, has fans and critics alike talking. And with more games like this, the conversation isn't slowing down anytime soon. When does tough talk cross the line? In a shocking turn of events, Seattle's coach Noelle Quinn seems to think calling herself a gangster is just part of the game. But is it? Quinn gets right in Sides' face, and honestly, there's no reason for that. It shows a real lack of sportsmanship, especially when you're supposed to be setting an example for your team. Instead, she storms off, making Seattle's coach look petty and unprofessional. And it doesn't stop there. The behavior of a coach often reflects on their players, especially when handling someone as outspoken as Caitlin Clark. It's clear that some folks just aren't ready for the spotlight this league's success has brought. It's high time to mature and manage emotions better. This is professional sports, not a playground dispute. What kind of message are we sending here? But it wasn't just the coaches making headlines. Caitlin Clark, the fiery rookie, was right there on the sidelines, clearly fired up and letting her feelings be known. The Storm players need to get their emotions in check. They seem unable to handle the heat from both this fierce team and Clark's growing fame. And Clark? She's not backing down from anyone. Now, here's where things get really interesting. I came across a video where Quinn, right after the game, boldly refers to herself as a gangster from LA. Seriously? Is this what the league has come to? A starting power forward describes her own coach with a term like that. And Quinn doesn't back down. She explained at the press conference, "When I mention the word gangster, I don't mean it in a bad way. It's just how I think." But is it really appropriate for a professional coach to use such language? Why are seasoned coaches losing their cool over Caitlin Clark's success? Is it envy? Or is something bigger brewing in the WNBA? Caitlin Clark has truly made waves in this league, and it's been incredible to watch her rise. But what's even more surprising is the unprofessional reactions we're seeing from some of the most respected figures in the game. We're talking about seasoned coaches like Noelle Quinn, Cheryl Reeve, and Becky Hammon. Yes, the same Becky Hammon with multiple championships to her name, acting out in ways that scream pettiness and envy. Why? Because a rookie from Iowa is stealing the spotlight? It's clear that frustrations are boiling over for Coach Quinn and her team, but it's not just about the records and accolades. The real question is, why are experienced coaches like Noelle Quinn reacting so strongly to a rookie like Clark? Remember, sportsmanship should always come first. It's pretty shocking to see Quinn taking issue with Clark, simply encouraging the crowd to cheer at the game's end. Seriously, Clark just set the WNBA rookie assist record for the season and broke the Fever's record for most three-pointers in a single game, racking up 31 points, 9 assists, and 5 rebounds. And somehow, that's a problem for Seattle's coach. Honestly, it seems a bit petty. This whole situation is just wild. They were playing on Indiana's home turf. It's not like Clark was pulling a Terrell Owens and standing on the Dallas Cowboys star. Keep it going, CC. You just took down one of the top teams in the WNBA, and they can't seem to handle it. It's wild, and honestly, it's a bit crazy. But one thing's for sure, Caitlin Clark is doing something right. Is the WNBA's latest rising star shaking up the league, or is there something more sinister at play behind the scenes? I thought it was a really fun game, and the fans were absolutely electric. They've been so passionate and supportive, especially considering how we started the season. They deserve to see the potential of this team in full swing. But let's talk about the sportsmanship, or lack thereof, from the Seattle Storm. Are they just upset because they didn't get the win? There have definitely been times when they didn't pull their players right away after a big win. I don't recall them easing up on us when they were dominating earlier in the season. Coach Quinn is coming across as a sore loser here, and frankly, I'm disappointed. And speaking of disappointment, I'm also questioning Christy Sides tonight. It was a huge win for the Fever. And while excitement is expected, there should have been a moment where Sides stepped in and told Quinn to back off and return to her side of the court. Show some passion and defend your team instead of just giving in. That's what leadership is about, standing up when things get heated. Caitlin Clark is quickly emerging as an all-WNBA caliber point guard, and her influence is undeniable. Despite their rough start, the Fever have become the team no one wants to face in the playoffs, thanks in large part to Rookie of the Year Caitlin Clark. But what's really disappointing is the poor sportsmanship from Seattle. Let's break it down. Why was Seattle's coach so out of line? Was it just frustration or something more? Some people are even suggesting that this is a race issue. A lot of folks are saying it's because they don't like seeing a player like Caitlin Clark, a white girl, outperform their stars. And I have to say, there might be some truth to that. It's crazy how quickly things change from she's overrated to have mercy. Caitlin Clark is out here breaking records and breaking hearts, and it's rattling some people in the league. And let's not forget, she is elite.
She is elite. Mm-hmm. She is the pinnacle at passing the basketball. Ocho, take off again.
I saw her at the All-Star game, and she is the pinnacle of passing and playmaking. It's almost like they can't handle the attention she's bringing to the game, attention that has even led to a huge new TV media rights deal. The commentary team suggested that the tension arose because Sides kept her starters in the game even after the outcome was clear, with Indiana leading comfortably for most of the fourth quarter. It seemed Quinn took issue with Sides' decision to maintain her starting lineup, while Seattle had already substituted in their bench players. But let's be real, the handshake at the end doesn't mean it's all good. Just look at that expression. Noelle Quinn knows she's just been outplayed. What exactly is the Caitlin Clark effect, and why is everyone talking about it? Look at that face. She's like, oh God, I have to explain why we lost. And let me tell you, it's something called the Caitlin Clark effect. The Fever's communication was sharp, but Seattle, they were all over the place. Defensively, they seemed lost, helping when they shouldn't, not getting to the shooters, and over-helping at times. That's how Clark found so many open looks, draining shot after shot, while Seattle's defense was caught flat-footed. Caitlin Clark, man, she's a true talent. I'm sure Noelle Quinn feels pretty embarrassed after that game. Remember, this is a coach who took her team to the playoffs last season and has a solid career behind her. Yet, here we are talking about this game and this moment that might be remembered for years to come. Noelle Quinn knows Caitlin Clark's got some moves. They're probably not too happy with the outcome, but guess what? Caitlin Clark is here to stay, and she's not just a flash in the pan. She's reshaping the league. If Seattle wants to handle it, they need to look inward and adjust their game. This is just the beginning for Clark, and it's going to be thrilling to see how her career unfolds.